Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Spreading the Nerd. I'm your host, Clint Coombs, and I am here with the one and only Rick Davis. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Damn week's
Good.
almost over. Finally. How about
Yeah,
yourself?
good. I'm glad the week is almost over as well, even though I had Wednesday and Thursday off, but I'm tired from Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday we were up late at the Blink 182 concert down at Fenway Park, which was awesome.
Mm,
And Pierce the Veil, another band called Ecstasy opened up too. But yeah, so we stayed up kind of late from that, and then the hotel room wasn't very comfortable for me, so I didn't sleep well. And then we got back here, and then last night I just didn't sleep well either. So I was like, cool, I guess I'll just be tired for the rest of the week until the weekend. But thankfully, I don't think there's anything planned for this weekend, which is nice. So
mm.
I am gonna take that. Hopefully, get some sleep. But hello, everybody in chat. Thanks for joining us already. What have you been playing this week?
Not a lot, actually. I played a very little bit of Elden Ring yesterday, but it really wasn't very much. What the heck have I been doing? Really haven't been having much like sticking. I think I played too much Elden Ring too fast, so I'm kind of like I'm not burned out on it, but I'm just like, man, I really just don't feel like doing it right now.
Take a little break from it, type of deal. Yeah.
What the heck else? I actually don't even know.
Uh,
I briefly tried the demo for that Cry Machina game today, but that's about it.
yeah. You said that was on the PS5, right?
Yeah.
You said it was very
So,
Japanesey.
it's very Japanese.
I definitely want to try it. I
I,
almost pulled the trigger.
I actually kind of like what I played. It's interesting. The setting has a very Near Automata meets like way more Japanese game.
It
Um,
kind of
but
reminded me of a few shots, anyways. Like, I haven't played it yet, but it looked a little bit shot wise for like Scarlet Nexus almost.
I would say character designs maybe, but the actual game that's probably not too far off. It doesn't have the what do you call it? Like psychokinesis powers like that,
Right,
like
right.
that does. But yeah, this what kind of drew me in was finding out actually what like the story is about. I'm like, that's actually kind of a cool idea. So what I understand, obviously, is I have not played the full game. I ordered it, but I haven't got it yet. Um, it's apparently 2,000 years in the future. I think that's what it is, 2,000 years. Um, Humanity has basically been run extinct because of it started with some disease and then it turned into like a world war over natural resources and they whatever. Um,
Right.
and you play as this girl who died from that disease and then suddenly is brought back as a machine in a way, like almost they say machine, but it seems to me it's more like almost like in a computer. Um,
Okay.
and when humanity was in the process of basically running itself extinct, I guess some people made it doesn't call it a generation ship, and I guess technically it's not because there's no humans on it, but it's basically a ship called Eden, which the whole purpose is to eventually get to the point of reviving humanity. Um, and it's run by 8 Deus Ex Machinas.
Okay.
Okay, so basically just computer programs, if you will,
Yeah.
and each one governs something in particular. And when it first starts, your character is like sent on a mission, just a training mission, basically, with the one Deus Ex Machina that you're working with, Noah, I believe is her name. And towards the end, you encounter the big baddie. Ecclesia is his name. He's the Deus Ex Machina of Judgment, I think is what it says, like Judgment and Order and all that stuff. And it's just it's like, what the heck's going on? But then they kind of indicate that somewhere along the line, like things went completely haywire, and there's almost like an internal war between all these different programs. And the problem is that you, as well as 2 other ones that this Anoa kind of revived, um, they're the closest thing on this ship to humans, but they're not technically humans. So these other things kind of reject them.
Right.
And the idea is your character is in some way the chosen one. All right, and the first Machina, which I forget what its name is, it went missing, and it's the one that kind of, I guess it was kind of the overseer of everything, right? Um, by gaining a material called EXP. Your your character continually becomes more and more. So basically, it works out that every time you level up, you become that much more human. And the point is, your character is to become human, so that everything else will immediately have to recognize, like respect it and all that stuff. I'm like, it's actually kind of an interesting idea. The
Yeah.
combat, from what little I played in the demo, kind of reminds me a little bit of Near, but certainly not as flashy or fleshed out or whatever.
Okay.
But it seems cool, and actually, I'm like, all right, I actually don't completely regret buying this game now, which is good.
I definitely, judging by what you've said and a few trailers I watched, I definitely want to play it. And like you said, I think when we texted earlier, it's like $40 on Amazon right now, and
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah,
tempted just to grab it. I really
yeah.
want.
It was just a lucky time that I I'm like, oh, hey, it's actually 33% off, and
Yeah,
I kind of really like that type of setting, and like that story is an interesting setup. And every review that I read, watched, whatever, that including ones that didn't really care for it, did say that they actually liked the story. I guess what's pretty interesting about it though is, and I can't tell so much from the demo, but I guess it is way more almost like visual novel than it is combat. But when you get to the combat, that's how it plays. But I did like 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. And that's kind of, I mean, that technically is a visual novel that has some minor,
yeah,
like real time strategy combat.
yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, actually, I kind of combat to this better because there's more you do. So I'm like, all right, we'll give it a shot. And I can watch anime girlies with very strangely designed eyes. If you look at the images, you see
Okay,
they look kind of weird because
okay.
they really like emphasize their like lower eyelashes, so it looks kind of strange.
Huh.
But having like tea parties and stuff like that. But again, the story is supposed to be very, very, very good. So I'm like, oh, what
Nice.
the hell? We'll give it a shot.
Yeah, yeah. I probably will pull the trigger. And of course, Ellery in chat, they are. I don't know what's they always no, not pressure, but they're always just like, just do it, just
Oh
do
yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah. Buy it. Just, anytime I post anything in the Discord, like, oh man, I'd really like this, and I swear
Mhm.
sometimes I put it in there on purpose because I know Ellery will speak up and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
do it, make yourself happy, and it's like, cool, I can do this.
If you ever need talked off the ledge of buying something, do not talk to Ellery
No,
because we're gonna get the exact opposite.
no, they'll just be like, yeah, do it, treat yourself, and I love them for it. I haven't played too much. Like I said, I had the couple days off. I have put some, not a fair amount of time, but a decent amount of time in Kunitsu. I know you're not a huge fan of it, but man, I'm
Again,
loving that game.
that's a me issue. That's not an issue with the game. It's just
Yeah,
it's not my thing.
I just I'm not. I used to love tower defense games back in the day, especially with like the old not Star Wars, StarCraft
I was gonna say, what Star Wars
custom
game are you
games.
talking about?
Yeah, it's like, you remember the one. StarCraft custom games always had
Mm,
a bunch of random tower defense, so I played those a lot, and I think I got burnt out on it. That, and back in the day, I did play some tower defense on mobile, and I think I just got burnt out on it. So I haven't played a tower defense in ages. So this is kind of like a good comeback for me, and I love the replayability of it. Like I'll play a mission, do the next one, and I'll level up a character. So then I'll go back and do the old mission so I can unlock more things. So the
prepare more of
replayability
your
for it's
thing, yeah.
really, really hitting me good.
From what little I played, it seems very, very easy though.
Um, so far, yes. So I'm like I said, I'm not too deep into it, so I'm hoping it does peak up a little bit, because it is very easy. But that being said, I only have 3 different units unlocked. I really don't have. There's like something like 78 different charms that you can collect and stuff. So
Oh wow.
we'll see. So far though, I'm really enjoying it. I played the demo for is it Tempest Rising on Steam. Basically, a throwback of Command and Conquer. I guess some of the original people that worked on Command and Conquer and the guy who wrote the music is also working on it. And it's straight up Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun with a new skin. So as
Mm.
a strategy fan, super excited for that one coming out whenever that is. I don't think oh, well, some new World of Warcraft content dropped, and I fucking excuse my language, but that is such a hate love relationship with that game, because I was playing it last night with the new content, and it's like it was sucking me in hard, and I'm like, no, because I just want to get the best gear, and of course the group that I play with, super great guys and girls, which is the only reason I still play it, because they're just made friendships with them over, you know, tens of years type of thing. So super close, great, awesome people. So that's why I'm still there. But yeah, every time I play it, half of my brain is, this is a pain in the ass. I don't want to do this. There's so many other games to play. And then the other half is I'm making memes, I'm having laughs with my friends, so it's keeping me there. And as
It's
Ellery
only
said, it's
slightly
a trap.
outdated gameplay by this point.
It is
Only by 15 years or so.
Yeah, it is. It's the only way it's around is because the artistic part of it and stuff. And it's funny, they redid the character selection screen, so now it looks like Diablo 4 or a Diablo game where you pick your character. And that was like a huge, like, oh man, this is so cool. And it's just like, this has been in games for decades, but now it's in World of Warcraft and it's something new. But
No.
that
Sounds like
expansion,
Nintendo fans.
yeah, it is, and I hate to be there, but God, it is the strongest love-hate relationship going for sure. But yeah, I played a little bit of that expansion comes out the 24th, I think. So I don't know. I'll be getting heavy into raiding and stuff, which sucks because there's lots of games, but
Enjoy the
what can
show
you
while
do?
you can, folks, because World of
Yeah,
Warcraft's about to cancel it.
yeah, Tuesdays and Thursday nights for 3 hours, I'll be banging my head against the door or my desk. Oh, hey, I forgot my fortune cookie, but my lovely assistant brought me a fortune cookie. You can say hi. Don't be scared. So thank you for the fortune. Hey, this fortune cookie's broken. Give me another one. Jesus. Yeah, so yeah, raid night is Tuesday and Thursday for 3 hours. And then of course you got to play in between that time. So it's just like, I don't know. And then of course, when you get later into the game, it's your rating mythic level. So you're literally bashing your head against the desk until you beat something. And it's, I don't like it, but here we are. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all I played this week. Like I was busy, so I haven't even really seen what's come out or anything really.
The other day, I actually did go to play something like shortly before bed just to kill time, and I ran into some issues with it. I tried to load back up Atomic Heart, which I don't know. Did that come out last year? Or that come out the year before?
That's weird because I was sitting in the chair the other day and I was like, I kind of want to retry this game.
Well, here's the thing about it, okay? So that game has many, many issues, right?
Right.
Performance is not one of them. That game ran like complete dog shit, and I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's from a patch they released. Like, I'm playing on Xbox, not on PC.
Yep.
But it's to the point like I'm like, man, I might just move it to the friggin' PC because like I don't try to use PC Game Pass. I'm like, I might have no friggin' choice. I have it on Steam, but there's no way to transfer your save because God forbid we do what we should. But it has all of a sudden just absolutely terrible like stutter that I never had before.
Weird, yeah, because I remember playing it at launch on PC, and I remember thinking, "Damn, this actually runs really well."
Yeah, even on Xbox, it runs. I'm like, man, and I tried looking, like Googling.
Yep.
I could not find anything anywhere. So I'm like, boy, is this just me for some reason? So I don't know. I kind of got to mess around and see if I need to clear up some space on the external drive, but I don't know, or not external, the expansion drive, but I don't know. I have no idea what's up with that. But it also may have been from like their update in I don't know last September or whatever when they released the other DLC.
As I think I only played like 3 hours and I liked it, but I never finished it because it was like 500 games coming out last
it,
year.
it gets extraordinarily repetitive, and that's kind of the
Oh, does
biggest
it?
problem with it. Yeah,
Oh.
like it does certain things really well. The robot designs are amazing, actually. They deserve all the
I
credit in the
loved
world for that.
the atmosphere and stuff.
Yeah, the setting is really cool. The main character should have been a mute because he sucks a lot.
Yeah, the Ellery says
Yeah,
in chat, the narrative was tough for me to get through, and I heard that from a lot of people. Like the main character was very
he's
over the
obnoxious.
top,
He's
very
obnoxious. Yeah.
obnoxious. Yeah, and not done well.
Mm.
Like Duke Nukem was done well with that
Crispy
character.
critters.
Yeah, but he was a problem for a lot of
Mm.
people. And like you said, if he had just been mute, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings any.
Normalize silent protagonists. They don't all have to be voiced.
Right?
But anyway, yeah. So like I was like, all right, is it maybe just because I'm just starting it up? I let it go for a while. There was points in combat I'm like I can barely play this because it keeps like the dreaded what's it called on PC shader compilation stutter. It's like
Oh my
that.
god!
It's like that. I'm like, what is
Really
going on here? Yeah, I was like, this never happened before.
interesting. And I mean, we should get to Star Wars or whatever. But speaking of shader compilation, that is the newest thing in gaming. I should say newest. Call of Duty introduced it like 5 years ago now, 6 years ago now. That is
Call of
the
Duty?
dumbest.
Because it's an Unreal Engine problem.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
The first time I saw it was for Call of Duty a
No,
while ago on
never mind.
PC.
Never mind. That can't be right because Callisto Protocol had it really bad too, and that's not Unreal Engine, I don't think.
I don't think so. But just like when you
Yeah,
start up a game and it's like, oh, we're downloading shaders, and it's like, okay, but it's like every time you start up a game now, and it's not
yeah.
just like certain, like it was just Call of Duty from what I remember, but like I said, now it's in Callisto Protocol. I tried Star Wars Hunters the other day, a
It's an
mobile
Immortals
game.
of Avium. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
not the stutter. I'm sorry, not the stutter. But it says optimizing game. It's still in the
yeah, and if you
shader
play
downloads.
it
Yeah,
while it's
yeah.
optimizing, it runs like trash. And yeah, I was playing Star Wars Hunters, a mobile game, and it was doing that in a mobile game. I'm like, what? Why? Why? Like, why is this a thing now?
Because the mobile game knows it should not exist. That's why. It's having
All
an
mobile games should not
existential
exist.
crisis.
Speaking of mobile games, top off my head, what was it? Resident Evil
7.
7 on like Apple iPhone released
Less
like
than
at like 2000 or
2,000
something, or less than
2,000
it's
copies.
like, oh my god!
But
Because
yeah, the mobile market's
gonna
good and
play it?
healthy, guys. The mobile
Yeah, like
market's good
who's
and
gonna
healthy.
play? I can understand like your Clash of Clans, stuff like that. No one wants to play a full game or buy a full game and play it on their phone. Like if you're at a hotel or something and you want to play a quick cloud game, totally can understand that.
Sure.
But you're not going to be like, hey, you know what I really want to do? I want to spend $70 or however much it is on a mobile game and play it on my mobile game. Like, no,
Well,
no one wants
plus
to do that.
it has been proven over and over again the mobile market will not buy premium titles. They just will
Yeah.
not do it.
Yep.
That's why we have all this garbage on console
Yeah.
now
All the
because
gotcha ones.
those jerks ruined everything for us.
Oh, anyways, as the title of this episode is "The Force is with us now," after the lovely season of Acolyte, we were talking on text, me and you, and we were like, we should watch another show. What show should we move to next? And we threw around a couple things, and we decided on Star Wars, the Clone Wars, because I haven't finished it, which is awful as being a Star Wars fan, and Clone
No, nor
Wars
have I.
towards
Nor have I, which was the point.
and from all that I have read, I've seen most of it, but all that I've read is like the last season is like fantastic, some of the best Star Wars, but and I just haven't gotten to it. And then you had brought up Star Wars Clone Wars, and I was like, yeah, let's do it, because I haven't. What I did watch has been ages, so to cleanse our palate and hopefully get some respect back for Star Wars.
I'd watch quality Star Wars content.
Yeah. So we decided to watch 4 episodes a week, and we'll give our thoughts on them. And I can tell you already.
So an idea before we even start. Let's do the first episode separate from the next 3 because the next 3 are a single arc. Let's do the first episode by itself.
Yes.
And then we'll do the other 3.
Yeah, that definitely works. Yeah, that's why I figured we'd Yeah, that works. And yeah, the first episode is Ambush, and it's just it's Yoda and going to he's got like 3 clone troopers, and he's going to I can't remember the planet name.
It's the
But
Toydarians planet, whatever it's called.
yeah, and which I
Watto.
love that species, the Watto
Watto, yeah.
guys. I love that species. I thought me and
Honey.
me and my friends were always, when we were kids, when the first movie came out, we're always like, only credits. We're always talking about him. So they're trying to gain the respect for him or gain his partnership or whatever, and then Count Dooku and his minions try to mix it up, and like it came out in 2008, I think we said.
I think it's
and it's a cartoon. It's kind of low quality cartoon for 2008, but it's like,
well, I don't know if you noticed not. It actually is intended to mimic the art design and animation style of a brief 2-season miniseries that had the same name, but technically is not canon. Yet some of the events of it still kind of cause the events. It's really strange. Like
it is.
Like Asajj Ventress is one of the primary antagonists of the entire Clone Wars show. She technically was introduced in this hand-drawn one. Whereas she's just suddenly there in the CG. It's also technically there is that CG movie that really isn't good at all.
We talked about watching that too, and it's like,
basically all you really need to know out of it is Anakin gets a Padawan named
Padawan. Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to take out of it. Yeah. And within, like I said, it's a cartoon, 2008, and like within 5 minutes of it, even with the cartoon level of writing, I was like, this is better than Acolyte.
And this really isn't even when the show is good. This is
exactly.
It's still kind of goofy and silly. But but it does cool things. Like it right off the bat, that episode kind of shows that this show makes a point to emphasize, unlike the movies do, that the Jedi don't like just throwing the clones out like they're droids. Like when you watch the movies, it makes it like they don't care.
They're just like whatever.
Squadrons get wiped down.
Yeah, they actually care for them, or especially
but right off the bat, he's like, no, I have you guys. We're gonna figure this out, and I don't want anybody to like rush headlong and get themselves hurt and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, Yoda says like, even though you're clones, the force is within all of us, type of thing. Right. So everybody's their own thing.
And it also makes a point to emphasize that all the clones even have minor differences, because he basically says like, this guy, you're looking too far ahead. You're not focusing on the battle because you're more worried about the war. And this guy, you're too focused on your weapons and not using the environment to advantage. And I forget what the other guy was, but it's like, I like that. That's actually cool. It kind of humanizes the clones, which is neat.
And
the show does do that a lot. It actually does humanize the clones a lot.
Yeah. They all have, different haircuts and stuff. Well, most of them have different haircuts and stuff. So like you said, with this series, they definitely tried to just, make them more personable, other than a marching army of clones that in the movies you literally just thought they're just fodder. That was it.
But another thing, and this is just still a Clone Wars thing overall, you got to give credit where it's due, because they really did knock it out of the park when it comes to finding voice actors who sound like their movie counterparts. Because there are a couple that are the same, but most of them are not. I was starting to think, like, man, did Christopher Lee actually voice Dooku? It actually was Corey Burton. I was like, man, he sounds exactly like him.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Exactly like him.
Yep. And fantastic job. Even the Anakin, everything.
Yep.
So
Anakin and Obi-Wan's voice actors were the same ones as that hand-drawn one. So we knew before this show that they were good. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, I didn't see any of the hand-drawn one.
You should watch that. That's honestly, first of all, I will tell you right now, just a tangent. So there's a marked difference in quality between the first and second season. First of all, the first season are only, I think it's 6-minute episodes, but there's 20 of them versus 12-minute, and I think it's 10 of them in the second. But there is, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, those two things that they actually do a remarkably small amount of um, talking in them, like for what they are. There's a little more in
Yep.
the second season, but in the first, like it does a lot with just showing things. I'll tell you right now, through give or take an hour and a half, they tell a far more complete story than almost ever than so much more Star Wars content, including and especially emphasizing the Acolyte. It tells a
I mean,
far
it's
more cohesive
not
story
hard.
than that does. No, it's not. But it does it. I'm telling you, there is probably as many lines of voice acting in both of those seasons
Huh.
combined as one episode of The Acolyte.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have
It's not
to,
saying there's
I'll have to
not saying
check
there's
it
a
out.
ton in The Acolyte. I'm just saying like there's just not all that much.
Right.
Especially the first season. Like they really it's I don't want to say it's silent because you hear obviously blasters and lightsabers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's not a ton of voice acting in the first season, which is interesting. And do you know who Shakti is? She is
Sense.
I don't know
Sounds
what they're
familiar.
called, but she is the same race as Ahsoka. She technically has a very brief, in background in I believe it is Clone Wars because she's on the Jedi Council. She actually had a scene that was deleted
Oh yeah.
in
Okay.
episode 3 where she is killed, but they deleted that, and I guess, and then you end up fighting her in the Force Awakens, which, or not Force, I'm sorry, the Force Unleashed,
Yeah.
which at the time was canonical. I don't think it is anymore because it's all a mess now.
Yeah.
But first of all, that show will make you think that she is one of the coolest characters you'll ever see in your life
Okay.
because she's using a lightsaber with one hand. Those guard droids that Grievous uses, the ones that use the staff with the
Oh
energy.
yeah. Yep.
She's using one of those with the other
Ooh.
hand. She's fighting, and those things are supposed to be like really tough even for Jedi to fight. She fights like 15 of them at a time.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
awesome.
That's what
All
I'm here for.
Yeah. All right. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, so I guess we'll have to check them out. But yeah, so episode 1, Yoda ends up fighting some bad guys and comes through,
Yeah,
and
it's not the greatest story, but it's a solid start. It gets much better,
it's a
obviously.
good start.
It's much better with the Malevolence arc, which is next.
Yeah, the Malevolence arc's solid. So yeah, he wins the favor of the king at the end,
and the Republic can put
and then
a base
what's
on
her name? Ves
Asajj Ventress.
Ventress there. She gets basically put in her place by Yoda, and makes Count Dooku look bad. And that's the end of that one. That was good. It's a good start. Like I said, it's
a decent start.
It's simple, but yeah. And then you've got like the arc of the next 3, which is like about the Malevolence.
Is it the Rise of the Malevolence, the Shadow of the Malevolence, and the Death
it's
of the Malevolence,
Rising,
like
Shadow, and then Destroy.
Okay.
And then the Malevolence has at least in the second episode, it's got Count Dooku and General Grievous on the ship.
First, I think.
First episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Dooku. Oh, you mean second in terms of?
Yes, yeah.
The second. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I say because in the third or second episode of this arc, Dooku is not on the Malevolence any longer. I don't know where he is.
No. Yeah, who knows? That son of a bitch.
But again, this is where you start to see what Clone Wars does well. Is it starts to tell more mature stories.
Yeah.
So okay, real quick brief. The Malevolence is a capital ship that the Trade Federation creates that has a super secret weapon, which is an ion cannon. That when they blast it off of I think it's on both sides. They can shoot it at either side. It basically it's like an EMP.
Large EMP, yeah. And they can shoot it like far range, so they can take out stuff before they get near them, type of thing.
However, now the thing to remember is Clone Wars is a show specifically about a continual, large-scale, ongoing war, and it does make good use of that throughout the course of the show.
It does,
because to make a point to test the Malevolence as well as show its power, they decide to attack a hospital, essentially. Different terminology. It was basically what it is, and it's like that's actually kind of cool because it shows kind of the depths that they're willing to go.
Yeah, because they had like 100,000 clone troopers,
something like that. Yeah,
like getting medical aid at this place. Yeah.
So they're basically willing to act like terrorists in order to accomplish their goals, which is cool. I was like, I like that because that's the kind of thing that they kind of shy away from in the movies and stuff like that. But it's like
Yeah, and especially for a cartoon that was
Mhm.
for like kids.
Right. Yeah, they're not afraid to kind of get their hands a little bit dirty in terms of,
Right.
in terms of showing kind of the horrors of war in the show. And
Yeah.
characters do die throughout the course of the show, so it's not completely, child safe.
Right.
I mean, it's not something you got to be afraid to show your kid, but I'm just saying it's not
No,
like
no,
it's
no, not at all.
not typical Disney like good guys always win type of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, they shoot down like a couple things, a couple, Republic
Battle
ships,
cruisers,
battle cruisers and
or I'm
stuff.
sorry, Venators is what those are actually called.
Eh,
Yes, Republic Venators.
um, and then yeah, because they shoot one down and it's uh,
Plo
isn't it?
Koon. Is that
Is
you
it
trying
Plo
to remember
Koon?
who? Yes, Plo Koon.
Yeah, Plo Koon. He and a couple other clone troopers get out in escape pods, and then from the Malevolence they send out this little ship. And this I found kind of dark is when they found the escape pods, the droids would get out and like cut the window that was in the escape pod, and they would just watch the troopers just
Mm-hmm.
fly out to space. And
Get
I was like,
sucked into
that's
space.
it's kind of dark, but especially for a cartoon, and like you said, for a Disney style, that's like good bad type of thing. So then they find the one with Plo Koon in it, and thankfully Snips or Ahsoka and uh, Skywalker Anakin come to their rescue, and that's the end of that one. Pretty much, they get them out. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one, Shadow of the Malevolence.
Destroy the Malevolence. You mean? Or do you mean Shadow? Shadow is the name of the third episode. I keep getting messed up because I keep thinking you're talking about the arc.
Yeah. One of them's for Mom, one for you. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So the third one is Shadow of the Malevolence, or episode 3 is Shadow of the Malevolence.
Okay. We're talking about episode number. I keep getting mixed up if we're talking about the third episode of the arc or the third episode.
Yeah. No. So second episode of the arc.
Okay.
So basically, they find out where it is, and they have a plan to take down the Malevolence, and yeah, they go take it, and they go. They have like Plo Koon with them, and Snips, and Anakin. They have like a whole, it's a bunch of Y-wings with them, and they go through a gas cloud with like these cool, I can't remember what they're called, but these cool like alien life forms that are like whales
they were
feed on
some kind of ray is what Plo Koon called them. The giant.
Yeah. So
ray.
they look like giant rays or whales, like feeding on the gas that are coming off of planets and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. And they lose a couple Y-wings there, and they end up catching up to the Malevolence, and they're who are about to take out the big medical bay there, and they lose a couple more Y-wings, but end up taking it down, not taking down the Malevolent itself, but taking out the ion weapon in a run. And
the original plan was to take out the
deck,
room,
so they would kill him. But if they did that, they wouldn't have time to take out the ion cannon, which would have wiped out all the clone troopers type of thing. So they did the good thing. So yeah, they wipe them out and wipe out the Clone Wars, the ion weapon. And as they're running away, some more Republic cruisers come in and start shooting it down, and it's all on fire. And that was the end of the episode there. And then you've got Destroy the Malevolence,
where we see another movie character make appearance.
Yeah, you've got C-3PO, and you've got
two of them. Actually, that's not who I was referring to, but yeah.
Oh, and then Queen Amidala. So that's always cool.
Even cartoon version of Padme is hot,
right? Thank you. I when I was a kid, I definitely had a huge crush on Natalie Portman. I'm not ashamed to say it.
What do you mean when you were a kid? I still do.
No, yeah, I still do. Yeah, but even as like my crush started as a kid and up, And yeah, definitely. Was it Star Wars? I think it was Star Wars that started it. Of course, I think it was just like all the makeup and stuff. I was like, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yeah, I was actually trying to remember this myself because I swear when episode 1 was coming out, I already knew who she was. I swear, but I don't know what from. I have no idea what I knew her from.
I know like for some reason there was a movie where she was like homeless and she stayed in like a Walmart type of thing. I remember that one for
There was a movie
reason.
where she was like a young pregnant girl, and I thought that was it, but that actually
I
came out
know,
after episode 1, so it couldn't have been that.
I know the one I
She
had
was actually in
a
Mars
crush
Attack
on her.
also, I think. I think she was.
And Mars Attacks?
I think so. I think she might have been like
Maybe I think it was there
one of
was
the
a shit
kids.
ton of.
Yeah.
I know the one that it's not Clone Wars. It's well over in Silkenet Land. It's called Leon, and here it's The Professional. Did you ever
Oh,
see
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. No, I did not,
Yeah,
but I know what you're talking
that's.
about.
Oh my god, you haven't seen that? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not what.
Anyways,
Yeah, what's his name?
Yeah, that's when I started.
Jean Jean something was his name.
Jean, yeah, I can't remember his.
He
I know his
was an
first.
Onimusha 3.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Jean
Godzilla.
Reno. Jean Reno.
Jean Reno, yeah,
Yeah.
he's super good. But yeah, Gary Oldman, Jean Reno, Natalie Portman in The Professional. I love that movie. But yeah, Natalie Portman was, I think, about my age in that movie, and it was just like a teen crush type of thing. And then I, she grew up, I grew up, we never got together. It's all right. Things don't work out. It's okay.
I was keeping you separated, but it didn't work out for me either, I'm afraid.
But anyways, on to back to what we were talking about. Freaking Natalie Portman. But I think, just to go back to her real quick, I think she's getting a divorce, so she might be back on. Might be back on.
Might have to send an email here soon.
Yep. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but I'm on a podcast and we talk about Star Wars. Kind of a big deal. We'd probably have police knocking on the door.
How could you say no?
Oh God. Yeah. So then there was the Destroy Malevolence. I was kind of like half eating while watching this. So if you want to take this one and explain it probably better than I can.
So the general gist is since Anakin and company had to destroy the ion cannon instead of the deck as planned, the Malevolence escapes and they pursue it. Obi-Wan joins it. It's basically Obi-Wan, Anakin. Ahsoka does not. I believe she's on. I believe she goes with the Venator, and someone else. They take the droids.
Yeah,
or they take R2 rather. So they're pursuing it, and on the other side, they show Dooku give a command to Grievous to withdraw because they obviously do not want the ship destroyed. It's supposed to be their kind of
their
powerhouse for the war. Grievous has, typical Grievous like arrogance and doesn't want to do it, and he basically says, "Get out of there! I have." I forget what he says. He's like, I have somebody showing up that's going to help you out or something like that. And basically, the point is, Palpatine behind the scenes tells Padme that there's some kind of trade federation summit going on, and so she shows up, and Grievous kind of takes her on board and captures her, and Anakin and Obi-Wan, go to stop them, and things happen. Some kind of interesting droid battling with those guys, and they end up destroying the Malevolence is the general gist, which makes Dooku very unhappy, which will be a running theme throughout this show. He will constantly be pissed off at Grievous.
Pretty much, yep.
He will constantly be mad at Grievous because Grievous fails miserably.
All the time, like
nonstop. But it does a pretty good job of setting that up. Like it, after I forget why, but Grievous was off the ship when it gets destroyed. I think he might have been trying to pursue something, so he got in his little fighter ship that he uses. Yeah. And when he sees they destroy it by crashing the ship into a moon. Like Anakin screws up their hyper jump coordinates, so when the dumb asteroids try to do something, they get flying it into a moon and destroying it. And when Dooku contacts Grievous to find out the detail of his withdrawal, he just hangs up, and a droid turned around and says to Dooku, he's like, "I think that was intentional, sir."
Yeah, I do
It's
love the
really
droids
rough.
in this.
Yeah.
Like they're shooting tanks or whatever, or shooting the batteries from the ships, and there's just always like one-liners from the droids, like, "Oh, I'm a bad shot because it's in my programming," and just,
Right.
it's stupid lines, but it's just hilarious
Well,
for me.
the whole part about it is it's so dumb. Why do they have to actually talk to communicate? They're robots that are
Right?
connected
You would
to
think
a
they're
central
all
network.
connected, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
but they
it,
literally give like audible commands to each other, which in the first episode,
yeah,
one chooses not to listen and tries to
yeah. And then
fly
like
the
the guy in the
tank into
tank is
something.
like,
He's like,
"You should
sorry,
have
you were right.
listened."
You were right. It doesn't fit.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like comic relief type of thing. And it's great. I love it. Um, yeah. So that was that's the first 4 episodes. So
It's a start.
it is a start. It's gonna be a little bit because I think there's like 22 episodes in each
I think
season.
it's 20 per season, but yeah, it
Yeah.
does take some time. That said, now I have watched the first, I don't know, 15 or whatever within the last few years.
Yep.
Did you happen to see what one of the upcoming episodes is? Because it is not very popular with people, but Krista will know what's coming because the fact that I have a stupid shitting grin on my
is
face
it
right
the
now.
is it the Jar Jar Binks one?
Bombad Jedi or Bombad Jedi,
Yeah.
excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be Bombad Jedi. That actually might be the name.
It is Bombad
Yeah.
Jedi. Yeah.
He like pretends to be a Jedi to try to scare people off. So
Yes, that I do remember that one.
it's not a
Oh
good
my
episode. It's
god.
really not. It's terrible.
God.
I'll be honest. If I remember correctly, the next 4 really aren't very good. So we're probably not gonna have a whole
There's
lot good to say.
one that I'm not a fan of. There was like the R2D2 goes missing in
Yeah,
a battle,
yeah,
and they bring like a
yeah.
random one back. That one's not too good. Yeah, season 1 is very,
It's up and down. It
yeah,
has it has truly incredible moments, but it also
yep,
has Bombad Jedi at the same
yeah,
time.
odd. But then it starts getting better, and you get
It starts to be deeper into the war, and they really start to kind of narrow, like laser focus on certain characters.
yeah,
Like when they start to really deal with the Jedi, which they do much more after this, it starts to get
hmm
really good. And here's a hint. I don't know if this happens in season 2 or season 3, but if you watched episode 1 and thought that Darth Maul was cool, and let's be honest, if you watched episode 1, you thought Darth Maul was cool,
hell yeah.
the show is exactly what you want because
Oh yeah.
he is a major antagonist through most of
And
the show,
he's
and
the
he is
couple, yeah.
awesome. Like he's not just a cool fighting style like he was in the movie. He
Yeah, he's
actually
just
is a
awesome.
really awesome and at times, believe it or not, sympathetic character.
Yeah.
Like his backstory is really really cool, and like what's neat is, since I mean obviously Ray Park is just an amazing human being, so he was able
Yep.
to do all kind of crazy stuff, but not being restrained by being a human person and being actually something animated. They can do way more with him. And actually, the same thing. I don't know how much they do it in this show, but Grievous works far better in a non live action show than he did as a live action character, because they let him do all the crazy shit that being a robot lets him do.
Right,
Like
can do, yeah.
yes, in that like hand drawn cartoon that I had mentioned, that's where they actually introduced him originally. He fights with 6 lightsabers, not 4. Like he has the 4 arms, and he actually uses his feet and stuff too.
Right.
But obviously, whoever plays him can't do that, so that's why they didn't do it. But like, it's why he's so effective against Jedi, because he can just, one of him can outnumber 4 of them.
Yeah.
And he is he is trained by Dooku and all that stuff. In he also doesn't have any force sensitivity, but he's specifically trained as like almost a Jedi hunter, which is what makes him so dangerous. And that unfortunately is completely lost in episode 3. He's just kind of a doofus in episode 3.
Yeah. But speaking of Darth Maul, let me tell you, I go to the theater pretty often, almost every weekend, and I'm never one for like clapping at the end of a movie or anything like that. I went with a couple friends that are diehard Star Wars fans and big Darth Maul fans and stuff.
And they were
and we went
surprised at the end of Solo.
Oh my, like all 3 of us were sitting next to each other, and at the end of Solo, when they show like the metal legs, one of my friends like grabbed my arm and was like, "No fucking way." And of course he pops on it, and we literally like cheered.
Yeah, I had some friends that were like, was that Darth Maul? I'm like, he survived. He
Oh
did
my god!
survive.
I was like, no way. And then of course, I was super excited because I was like, oh man, we're gonna see more Darth Maul
Yeah,
live
they did
stream.
nothing with it after that.
Nope, nothing
Now
because
he does. Okay, here's a bit of a spoiler as you've not watched it, but his total arc is resolved in Rebels. I
yeah,
believe it's in the 3rd season because he's actually a major character in the 2nd season of Rebels.
mhm.
It's either the 3rd or 4th. I don't remember, but his story does come to a definitive end in Rebels. You can probably
Yeah.
figure out what that means, but
He's such a he's
he's
one
awesome.
of my favorite
He's awesome.
characters.
No,
It's
no, he truly is. Especially when you take. Well, I shouldn't say especially when because taking into account of Clone Wars and all that, he truly is one of Star Wars all-time greatest
yeah.
characters. And actually, taking out the live-action nonsense, Ahsoka is too. Ahsoka
Oh,
is
definitely.
a truly fantastic character. Like at this
There's
point
a
in the
lot.
show, she's kind of childish and goofy, but like when it
She
starts to
definitely
get more
comes into it
serious,
though.
she is one of the all-time greatest Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
She is so awesome.
Yeah, and you also get in this series where you get Cad Bane, who
You
is cool.
get almost everybody as long as they were around at that period of
Yeah.
time. You get Savage
But
Opress if you even know who that is.
yeah.
Okay, I'll say
Well,
he's part of maybe Star Wars all-time finest canonical lightsaber battle. Actually, do you know what battle I'm referring to? It's pretty late in the
I'm
show.
pretty sure. I've seen like
It's
snippets of it type of thing.
all I'll say is it's a 3-way lightsaber battle.
Oh. Um
Now he has more battles than that. He's actually a pretty big character later, but yeah. Again, I've not seen all the show, but I have seen that lightsaber battle. I'm like, oh my god, that's incredible.
yeah. There's so many good characters in Star Wars. Like I love Darth Maul. He might he might be my favorite, but I absolutely love Thrawn too.
Thrawn is awesome.
Um
It was actually cool. I don't know. You may know this. Rebels actually made him a canonical character because
yes.
he was not well. He was canonical in books, I think, but it's the
Yeah,
first
yeah, and
time in
that's
any kind of action or acted out thing.
yep.
He yeah, and then well,
Yeah.
actually, you watched Ahsoka. He's in Ahsoka, I guess, right?
Mm, yep.
Yeah, yeah, because
Uh
he's one of the main antagonists of one of the later seasons of Rebels.
yeah, and he is they I was waiting for them to bring him to some sort of like I knew he was in
Everyone
Rebels,
was,
but
yeah, everyone was.
I was like, he's got to come to the screen at some point because there's like, if you don't count the legacy books, he has a 6 series book about him that is canonical,
Mm-hmm.
and it is all of them are fantastic. He's such a awesome character, and the books follow him from training as a young kid all the way through, and it's just so good.
Yeah,
But,
he's a very cool character because
uh,
he's just so cold and calculating. Like
yeah, yeah,
he's like a robot.
right.
But
He's so good.
mm,
But yeah, so that was our Clone Wars, our first little toe dip into there.
believe it or not,
Um,
we can talk positively about Star Wars.
I know.
Who'd have
And,
thought,
and
huh?
we were thinking like, should we watch, something else? And then we thankfully you had brought up Star Wars. I'm always open for Star Wars. I was like, maybe we should watch Andor, something. But
I'm sure
I'm
at some point I'll get roped into that. But yeah, for now,
yeah.
I figured
No,
Clone
Clone
Wars
Wars
is
is
probably
good.
better
I think Clone Wars
since
is a
Clone
good.
Wars does genuinely tie into literally
Yeah.
everything that they're still making.
Right.
Like even I mean, not to just keep ragging on it, but even with the Acolyte, like the witches are a clear offspring or not offspring, offshoots in some way of the Night Sisters, which was pretty much essentially introduced in Clone Wars.
Yeah. So I'm excited we're watching that. It'll take a little bit to get through, but I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be good. So and then let's see what do we got for game news. I knew you wanted to talk about the was it a leak or was it, because it wasn't announced for Tales of Exilia, right?
No,
Not Exilia.
it's a leak that, or it's a rumor rather that I believe was discovered via maybe um like the Korean board of ratings or whatever. I actually don't know how it was discovered, but yeah. So for those who don't know, it has been leaked / rumored that a remastered version of Tales of Exilia is coming for I think it was PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and
Yeah, I think I saw it on Witch, I think. Which
Yeah, I think so.
I guess. But...
So I'll go into this because you never played Exilia, correct?
Oh no, I did. No, I loved
Oh,
it.
you did. Oh, you did.
I
Okay.
loved it. Yeah.
Exilia, not counting its sequel, is, as far as I remember, the last main Tales entry prior to them trying to switch things up, which was a mistake.
I think
Like,
it was like combat wise and stuff.
yes,
And yeah.
there may have been some like DS one or something like that, but the console ones are the ones that they consider to be the mainline entries, right?
Yeah.
And it is my personal favorite. A lot of people will say Symphonia, and Symphonia is amazing. I love Symphonia.
Oh yeah.
I really liked Abyss. I hated Legendia. That game was terrible.
Yeah.
But
No,
I liked Vesperia. There was Vesperia on 360, and then they finally eventually released the definitive edition is the PS3 version, which was only released in Japan, but has a bunch of extra stuff. But well, so if you're trying to think of the old games, Fantasia was on Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
that came out here. Then Tales of Destiny and Tales of Destiny 2, which is not the true name, but they came on PS1 over here. Now, Tales of Destiny 2 here is not actually Tales of Destiny 2. There is a Tales of Destiny 2, but it did not come to the States. What we got was, I believe it's Tales of Eternia, and they just renamed it Tales of Destiny 2. I actually never played either one of those. Those are a couple games.
I never played the early ones.
Yeah, those are a couple games that are on my my holy grail list. But the problem is it's tough to find a complete box copy for less than like $400. But I do want to get both of those. There's no other way to play them. They never made those anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But Symphonia for GameCube is the one that kind of like really made this series known in America.
That's the one that,
and rightly so. I mean, that game was great, and
it was so good.
It was the first time it's like, hey, do you kind of like the idea of a JRPG with the way story structure is and all that stuff, but don't really get into turn-based battles? Then this is for you, because the combat almost works more like a fighting game. And I read that, I'm like, that's ridiculous. And I played it, I'm like, I see what they mean. So then you had, like I said, you had Abyss, you had Legendia. Legendia sucked. And a couple others, right? Tales of Exilia, as I said, excluding its sequel, was the final one to really retain the more classic style of combat. And in my opinion, it's easily the best combat of them all. That includes the new ones. I like Arise. I think Exilia's combat is way, way better. And also, Exilia does something that I wish a lot of other games would take note of, which by the end of the game, not counting a certain member that's a temporary member, you have 6 party members, okay? When you're in combat, you can only have 4. That said, you can change them out at will. I think if a character is being targeted, you can't change that character. Right. Otherwise, you can change them in the middle of the battle, because the idea is everyone's supposed to be there. And I'm like, why don't more games do that? I hate having characters on the sideline all the time. And especially because this game in particular, but a lot of the games in the series, they make it that each character has a very specific archetype. So it's like,
oh, for sure.
Well, I mean, like
there's definitely this is the healer.
Sure.
This is the defender or whatever. Yeah.
And like if you're trying to level somebody, and have somebody else out of the thing, but you get into because boss battles in the Tales series tend to get pretty freaking hard. They usually ramp it up pretty big, because these games are not easy cakewalks typically.
No.
And this game follows suit. Like this game, the boss battles get intense. I like the fact that you go, oh, okay, actually, I did not have a good party makeup here. I'm going to swap this guy out, or I'm going to bring this guy in to do this, but then I don't need him for anything else. I can take him back out, then
swap it out,
put the other guy back in, right? And this Exilia genuinely has one of my all-time favorite parties. All 6 members are awesome characters.
It's really good.
And like I particularly, I love Jude. There's 2 main characters. When you start the game, it has you pick one or the other, and it really doesn't change much. It changes the first hour, I guess you get their perspective, and then it changes the opening cinematic that you get. Better than that, it's the same story after that. But I really, really liked Elise. She's kind of the healer, but she also uses dark attack spells, and it took me forever to realize that her attack spells have some of the coolest looking effects in the whole game. And something else I want to give this credit for. So the Tales series always has a specific issue that pops up when it comes to balancing. Either your melee characters don't output enough damage, or your magic casters don't output enough. Like they're terrible about balancing it. This game actually did balance it well. Your magic casters actually do output a lot of damage, and they're not completely useless in melee. They actually do have, because that's how you kind of build up your magic points if you're low. But your melee characters, especially Jude is so fast by the end that you can.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
And he's like a jack of all trades. He's actually one I played most of the time because of that.
Yeah.
And so you can really like wail on enemies with him. And without getting particularly spoilery, the antagonist of that game is an awesome character. Because I mean, I won't say who it is, but the reality is when you watch the like anime video that they always use for the opening songs, which also amazing opening song.
Oh, they're always fire. Song. Always fantastic.
That's one of the better ones. That is one of the better ones.
Yeah. It's like one of the things I look forward to. It's like I know there's going to be an awesome anime.
Yeah. You actually do see this character fighting your party. So it tells you fairly early who he is. But what makes him particularly interesting is he is not. Notice I said antagonist. I did not say villain, because he is not a villain. He actually is a good guy who is friends with your party, but has different ideals how to address the big issue, and you come to blows because of it. And it's really cool. And he's honestly the closest I've ever seen in a another like RPG to like Sephiroth levels of like cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in fact,
I would agree with that.
He's pretty clearly designed with Sephiroth in mind, because his sword looks exactly like the Masamune.
It did, yeah.
He wears like a robe almost like Sephiroth. He doesn't have long hair or anything like that, but no, I cannot speak highly enough about this. And I have always lamented the fact that Exilia and Exilia 2 are stranded on PS3. I'm like,
and is Vesperia on anything else? Because that was the 360 only.
Well, that was what I said. They did make it on PS3.
Oh, they did.
But they only released the PS3 version in Japan. However, everybody wanted that because they added a lot of content to it. They added a whole other party member. Do you remember Flynn from that one? The like knight looking guy?
Yeah.
So in the 360 version of Vesperia, he is a temporary party member. He becomes a full party member in the PS3 version.
What the hell?
They did. I'm not done. A couple years back, they released the definitive edition on PS4 and Xbox One, and they released those here. So it is actually available everywhere else now.
That. That must have. I don't know how that missed by me, because I'm gonna have to look at that now. Because I loved that one.
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah. So Tales of Vesperia was 360 for a while there. I never played Tales of Exilia 2 because I heard it was bad, so I never played it. Tales of Zestiria, I liked it. That came out in 2015, but a lot of that really didn't have fantastic reviews either. But I liked it. How the hell do I not have that?
Yeah, it came out a couple years ago. And actually, I'll be honest. No, I actually never finished Tales of Exilia 2. I don't agree that it was bad. I actually thought it was a pretty interesting follow-up. It's not as good as the first, but it does do some weird things. Like, remember that I mentioned about being able to swap party members in and out and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Exilia 2, you can't do that because it actually basically, when you're playing through the story, it's basically pre-selecting your party the whole time. I think when you do like late game stuff, like you're doing an optional boss with that, I think then you can assemble the party how you want. But what's cool is every single character that was a major character in the first one is a party member in this, including said antagonist. He actually is playable in this because he is a party member.
Huh. Look at that. Tales of Vesperia, Xbox One.
Yeah,
$15.
Probably came out 4 or 5 years ago.
Where's my instant buy?
That's a very easy $15.
Yeah. And I think we mentioned it before when we first met, when we were talking about Tales, that you weren't a fan of Tales of Bergia, were you?
Not at all.
I really liked that one.
I thought Zestiria and Berseria were massive steps in the wrong direction. I did like that in Berseria you played as bad guys. I thought that was
I did like that. I think that's why I liked it.
But I hated. I thought that combat system was absolutely dreadful. I did like Arise. Actually, I thought Arise was much more a step
I
back
loved
in the right
Arise.
direction.
I loved Arise. I haven't played the DLC for it, but
It's still not exactly what I want Tales to be. I want Tales to be more like Vesperia and Exilia and stuff like that. But if we got more like Arise in the future, I wouldn't be overly disappointed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Arise has its own set of issues though. Like its difficulty balancing is all over the place.
I will. Yeah.
Look, it goes okay. Hey, here's the boss.
I will.
The bosses in that are insane. They are so unbelievably like skyrocketingly hard compared to everything else, which is weird. But
is it on Steam too?
But I mean, actually, in terms of Arise, it's another one though. I really love the character designs in that. Like, I think Elfin just looks amazing.
Yeah, I love the graphic style in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Shion looks great.
How did I
miss
this?
It was actually announced at an Xbox show. I'm almost positive.
I don't know how I missed this. I must have been. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, hopefully, I don't think there was any like date or anything like that, right? I don't think.
You say date
for Tales of Exilia. Nothing.
No, because don't forget it wasn't even announced.
Right. I'm sure that'll be like a Gamescom thing.
It is a bummer to see though that it doesn't look like it's going to include the second one. I really wish they would have just put both of them together.
Yeah, that would have been cool to put both together.
And the first thing everyone's talking about is will it run at 60? And I mean, it'd be nice if it did, but it doesn't matter in these games. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Like everyone made such a big deal out of Symphonia's HD collection not running at 60 since the GameCube version did, but it's like it doesn't matter. These games, would it be nice? Of course, because it just looks smoother and better, but it's like it's just not a necessity for these
once you play it for 10 minutes, you don't even notice it anymore.
Exactly. And like I'm not making any excuses for Bandai Namco because they clearly did make a pretty lazy port. But the reality is, if my understanding is the problem was like with the HD HD version of Symphonia, they wanted to use the PS2 version because it had a whole lot more stuff in it. It had like extra mystic arts and abilities and stuff and more voice acting. Like certain lines that were not voice acted in the GameCube version were in that. But something about it's basically like hard coded to be 30 frames a second, so they couldn't change it. People like lost their minds. I'm like, hey, it might have some like bug issues, stuff like that, and that's a problem. I was like, but the frame rate's really not that big of a deal. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So long as it's a smooth 30, who cares?
Exactly.
Plus, I mean, it's got like that cartoony art style, so it's like it looks fine in 30. You know what I mean?
That's fine. And that's one of the good things about Tales series too is like you could play them 20 years from now and it would still look good because
it doesn't go for photorealistic. It goes for more of a stylized.
Yeah. And because it's not like a remake or whatever of Tales of Exilia, but we also got a leak again today, which I'm not one for pushing leaks or anything, but this isn't anything crazy. We get the Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 supposedly remastered by a statue. Was
also technically not a leak. It was something they did themselves. It was there's some expo going on, and I guess
and the statue was like out there.
Yeah.
And oh my god, when I saw this, because Legacy of Kain is one of the first PlayStation 1 games that I remember, and the Soul Reaver games were great. I loved the Blood Omen. I think the last one that came out was one of the Kain Blood Omen games on the original Xbox, wasn't it?
It was Defiance. Defiance was the one that took Blood Omen and Soul Reaver and put them together to finish. Because you played as Kain for half of it, and you played as Raziel for half of it.
I loved all of them a lot. Especially, I mean, Soul Reaver was phenomenal back then. Of course, if you played it today, it would be crap.
A little dated, yeah.
A little, but the story phenomenal. The characters awesome. And while we were texting back and forth today, I was like, me and my friends still say lines from the original Legacy of Kain Blood Omen. It's just
I wish I could say I remember any of them, but I remember loving Soul Reaver 2. Soul Reaver 2 was just an amazing game. I don't know if you noticed in the Discord yesterday when we were posting pictures of the whole game room, all that stuff. I took the picture of that opened. I do have a
Yep.
Raphael figure in there. I don't know if you saw it in the back.
I saw it. Don't you
You did?
worry.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and
So
I
yeah, you
don't
have to
have
look in the right
any.
area to see him.
I don't have any memorabilia from that stuff, which
He'd be right
sucks.
right
But
about. That's hard to do. He's like right around there.
it is. It's hard in the camera when
Yeah.
I'm trying to point at things, and you're just like,
Yeah.
terrible. Other than that, game news, anything stick out to you? Like I said, I was busy this week, so I really didn't pay too much
You know
attention.
what? Same here. Usually, I'm spending lots of time kind of loading up.
Yeah, I'm like
Push Square or
perusing.
Team Xbox or not Team Xbox. I'm sorry.
Yeah, something, but
Whatever the hell the name of it is. I didn't really look at anything today.
I
This
was
week.
just not plugged in. We had mentioned the new limited edition controller. Actually, yeah, we want to talk about that for a quick second, and then we'll go into Beetlejuice because I know Ellery's here and they want to hear our ideas for that, and the show's running. So,
Well, don't get too excited, Ellery.
the limited edition for Concord controller came out, and I saw it, and I was like, this is kind of meh. And then I saw it a second time. I'm like, actually, you know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's the same thing. When I first saw it, I'm like, that looks like crap. And then I
don't know. And now it's like,
I'm like, actually, there is something I kind of like about it. And I'll be honest, this could be a hot take, and I know I'm going to attract some hate for this.
Hot takes is why we're here.
I'll take that over that shit Deadpool one every day of the week because I think that was like,
yeah.
I don't get the fascination with that. I think that is so stupid and try hard and lame and not funny at all.
I laughed for about 2 seconds, and I was like, okay. I mean, even though you can take the ass of it off, it's still like
I don't think that's funny. I just think that's stupid.
Yeah, I laughed for like a minute, and I was like, okay. And then they introduced the Wolverine one.
I'll say so. They actually told the same joke twice, and it's like, okay, that's
and like
that's
Deadpool.
Dumb.
I can kind of understand, but Wolverine, I'm like,
yeah, it makes no sense with Wolverine one at all.
But
you're right. The Deadpool one, it does at least fit into it to like certain jokes. That
but it's still
but Wolverine is just stupid.
Yeah.
And also
the Concord.
Personally, I don't know about you, but if we're on this topic, I couldn't have less interest in that movie myself. I don't know about you.
I'm gonna see it, but I'm not as hype as a lot of people. But I
thought the first movie was absolutely brilliant. I thought the second one was like, okay, so you proved to me that you told all your jokes in the first one and didn't know what to do. The only thing about it is I did like what's his name is Cable, and they actually did the Juggernaut.
Yeah,
not like a giant walking penis like he was in X3. That's the only area.
Literally was a walking penis.
Yes,
for sure. Yeah, back to Concord. Ellery says they love the controller, and I like the touch screen. It reminds me of like looking at a retro 8-bit game, like arcade game, like a handheld.
Well, what's weird is that was the like imagery that they were like selling on that before then they showed what it was, and it's like, okay, what happened to the 70s like retro thing?
Right,
that's not here at all.
No, but they just had open beta last week for PC, PlayStation. We don't know the PlayStation numbers yet. Me and you played on Thursday night.
I heard the Steam numbers, and
yeah, it ain't good.
Oof.
And we played, and like I liked it. And they did announce that it's going to be a $40 game, but they won't be charging for content in the future. So they're going to be dropping like season passes, but you don't have to pay for it. So I don't know if they.
I thought they said they were not going to have battle passes.
They are not, or okay, they will, but you don't have to pay for them.
Oh, I was just saying. Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry.
But I'm wondering if that's because after the numbers came out, because I don't think it was announced before open beta about that, and then they saw the numbers and they're like, we gotta get numbers somehow. It's not the second coming or anything. It's a decent game, and I think when we were playing it, I was like, I'll buy it for on sale probably to play around with. But yeah, Steam numbers were not good. Thursday night was its biggest night, and it had like just over 2K for an open beta. And then you would think Thursday night, okay, not many people on, but over the weekend, when it's supposed to be the most popular, it actually dropped in numbers. And on like Sunday night, it had just over 1,000 on an open beta. That's bad.
Well,
That's
and
really bad.
if you kind of look at the discussion surrounding it, they should probably be kind of worried because
Yeah,
you do have people say like, "Hey, I actually really like this. I'm definitely interested." But for every one of them, you have 5 that's going, "Okay, there's actually something here, but a lot needs to be addressed."
right.
And then you have another 5 going, "This is just garbage."
Yeah.
And
So
I think that's extreme and stupid. I don't think it's that bad, but like
no,
I
it's definitely not garbage.
I
With
I
so many games coming out.
I do expect that this probably won't have a particular. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't suspect it's going to survive
Yeah,
very long.
I would love to be wrong, and I like how they're doing a story through it, even though it's straight up Guardians of the Galaxy, which whatever. I don't
Yeah.
want a game to ever do bad, but clearly, at least on PC,
I
this
can't
is
say that
DOA.
because I want
DOA.
Fortnite. I want Fortnite to just go down the drain. I want that crap gone.
Yeah, Fortnite I would be okay with. That's fucking
Ugh.
total brain rot. Jesus.
I want nothing more than that game's entire servers to melt down.
Um, yeah, and I played the beta as well on the PlayStation, and it ran great, looks
Mhm.
great. I'm terrible with first person shooters on the controller. So I did enjoy it a lot more on PC, especially when I found a class that I liked. But I don't know, maybe with them saying, "Hey, no, everything's once you pay for it, everything is free." So I think hopefully that'll bring in some people. Maybe
I
they give it a free PS Plus
I
month day.
I think $40 is a tough sell for an
Mm,
all adversarial multiplayer though.
yeah,
I know what's it's called came out at $40, but it wasn't adversarial. That's the difference. So people still felt like
right.
they could jump in and play with their friends with that. This is like no matter what you do, you're coming up against sweaty tryhards. So
Yeah, for sure.
that
For sure.
immediately turns off a fair number of people.
Mhm.
It also attracts a fair number of people.
Right.
So like I'm not saying there's not an audience for it, but
Yeah. I would love to see the PlayStation numbers, but I don't think
they'll
we're
never give them. The only way
no.
PlayStation give numbers now is if it's something they can brag about.
If it's something, yeah. But being an open beta on Steam and just breaking 2,000 and then
Yeah, no,
going
that's awesome.
lower on a but that also shows people maybe don't want to sign up for the Sony or
That too.
link their
Yeah,
account.
yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of people on PC are just like, no, don't want to do it for
Yeah,
whatever.
I I don't quite
But
understand the complete aversion to it. Like
I
I
don't know.
understand why you don't want a different launcher, but
Right.
signing up for a thing is not that big of a deal in my opinion. But
No.
the reality is, if you're Sony, you got to get your head out of your ass here. Like you got to
Yeah.
read the room and just well, all you got to
Yeah.
do is say, okay, it's optional, but if you do it, here's friggin' 10 skins per character or something
Yeah.
like that, right? You just put an
Yep.
incentive in it and people will do it.
Right. And
But you
it's
cannot force it
pissing.
or you're going to just nuke your
Yeah.
own
And
success.
it's doing that whole thing with Helldivers and stuff like too. Like even though it's saying it on Steam now, it says it like you need the a PlayStation account and stuff.
Mhm,
People on PC are still pissed off and they won't
mhm,
do it because they're shutting out so many
mhm,
other countries that
mhm,
don't have or
mhm,
have access to a Sony account. So they can't play the game.
mhm.
So it's just pissing people off and it's just clearly by the
Well,
numbers you
I
can tell.
and then I think even after that fire was starting to die down, they really kind of pissed people off by making it that you had to have it for don't you have to have it for Ragnarok, which is like there's no multiplayer in
For a
that at
yeah, for a
all.
single player game.
Like
Mhm.
what do you even need it for a single player game?
Right. It's just for them when they have their board meetings, they can
Mhm.
be like, look at all our user base, and
Well,
that's all it is.
PlayStation desperately need to learn if they want to gain a footing in PC, and maybe they don't care that much. And if so, fine, do whatever
Right.
you got to do.
Right.
If they genuinely want to gain a foothold in PC gamers are stubborn sons of bitches.
Oh yeah.
If you have a color in the wrong area that they don't like, they will
Mhm.
bash the shit out of your game forever.
Look
So,
at Epic Game Store.
yeah,
It's another
Epic
store.
Game Store is absolute garbage. So there's a reason why
Yeah,
people hate that.
it's garbage. It had I'm not sure about now, but it had a shit ton of spyware on it when
Yeah.
it launched, and I think there
Well,
was a Borderlands game on there. There's been
well,
several.
no matter what you do, here's something to remember about that. Epic is owned like 40% by Tencent. So
Right.
you don't think China knows every
Right.
single thing that you're doing
Right.
on Epic Game Store? You are fooling yourself.
And PC players just
Yeah.
like you said, we're stubborn sons of bitches.
Sure,
We just
sure.
don't like. I've got 3 other, I mean, Ubisoft, EA, and stuff like that. But
Mm.
you burn us even a little bit with something, and that's it. Your bridge is
Oh, yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's not a bridge you can repair typically on
no,
PC.
PC players are an asshole breed. uh, I guess I don't know. That's not really a good segue into Beetlejuice because Beetlejuice isn't an asshole, but
Apologies if you can hear the demon
that's
in the
all right.
background there. I assume you
That's
can.
okay. Nah, no, barely. It's fine.
Okay.
But anyways, we had Ellery basically write in. I hadn't even asked for questions or anything. I'm always open for questions. So if anybody has questions, feel free to message us on X or Threads anywhere, and we'd love to.
Nah, not today, Ellery. Sorry.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Get the demon on the screen. Ellery wants to see the dog.
Yeah, not today. Sorry.
But Ellery wrote in, I have a huge love for Beetlejuice. It's a core memory for me as a kid. I looked more forward to knowing that Beetlejuice was going to be on ABC or whatever around Halloween time.
Are you saying this for you, or this was the message that was sent by Ellery?
Oh no, this was
Okay.
me going.
All right. I just want to make sure I understand being said.
Go into the question.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, every Halloween, yeah, I loved the candy. I loved getting dressed up. But it was knowing that I would be able to watch Beetlejuice maybe twice on ABC around Halloween, and then of course we bought it on VHS, and I probably burnt through like 2 tapes. Loved Beetlejuice.
When I was a little kid, I would ask my grandpa almost every night if there was one of 3 movies on television. Batman, 1989, which even now I don't really like that movie very much, but I did then. Indiana Jones, which I still love that, or Beetlejuice.
Nice.
And he would be like, "They're not going to be on every day." I'm like, "But are they on today?" I would ask,
but they should be.
I would ask him almost every night if one of those 3 movies is on television.
I had a very like to drift off a little bit. Yeah, like I was homeschooled until 7th grade, and my parents were very like, you can watch R-rated movies, it's fine, just know it's fake, da da da. So my younger life was watching Rambo, Aliens, and Predator, and Beetlejuice. That's like that's how I grew up.
I've never watched Rambo.
God damn it.
Or here's the one that always throws everybody for.
I swear to God, if you say Aliens,
no. I've seen Aliens and Predator many times. No. But the one that always throws everyone for a loop when I tell them I have never watched any of them. I have never watched a Rocky movie, and so help me God, I never will. I have zero interest in them. None.
I can kind of get by that. That's fine.
There's nothing about that appeals to me.
Rambo,
there are things about Rambo that appeal to me. I just have never.
Oh, Rambo's great. I freaking love Rambo, and especially as a little kid that's like 7 years old. Like, who doesn't want to see guns blowing?
Maybe I did watch it when I was like a little kid, but I don't remember anything about it. So, but no. To be clear, I love Aliens and I love Predator. So no worries there.
There would be a problem. But anyways, Ellery had wrote in because we've getting a lot of Beetlejuice is coming out in September, the second one, and we've been going back and forth with trailers and news and stuff like that on Threads. So they wrote in saying, what's a throw a Beetlejuice game. What would you want to do? And I think it's an awesome question because I love Beetlejuice, but I also, like we were talking a little bit before the show started, like,
to a game.
It's a really hard translation into a game because you can do lots of things, but would any of it catch on? But I think I settled myself on, and then as we were talking about it, it's like, oh, this has kind of been created before, but whatever. I was a huge fan of the Ellery says Rambo is awesome. Ellery is awesome, but
Ellery is my spirit animal.
Facts. In fact, we've said several times Ellery is like one of our biggest fans, but like all joking aside, Ellery is one of the
head nerd
spreader. But Ellery is legit one of the nicest people and what everyone should strive to be because they're just awesome. But yeah, going back to that, I was thinking about, because I loved the Beetlejuice cartoon where it saw Beetlejuice and Lydia as friends. Beetlejuice would come out of the netherworld, mess around with Lydia in the real life,
That's a good
and
cartoon.
all that good stuff.
I like
Yeah, I
that.
loved that cartoon. So I was thinking that style. Lydia gets kidnapped, goes into the wherever. It's going to be a 2D side scroller. I was almost thinking of somehow making it the cartoon style, but also making it stop animation because I really like that style, but I don't think it would work well. But anyways, yeah, so you'd be like a platformer, and then I was thinking you could kind of almost put in a little bit of Donkey Kong Country in it, where you collect like how they collected Kong throughout the letters Kong. You collect the Beetlejuice letters as you're going through.
3 times per episode, right? Or per
Right, right.
chapter. I mean,
Right, and then you get special powers and stuff. I haven't thought about too much special powers. Like maybe your head can explode with like the snakes coming out, and that would scare things away from an area or something. Um, so I think that would be fun, like a cartoon style side platformer where you try to save Lydia, and there are characters from the Netherworld in like the waiting room that you see in Beetlejuice that are the bosses that you fight to get towards Lydia and stuff. That was my, I think that was the one I stuck with. And then for some reason, another one got in my head where it's gonna kind of be like a stealth game. And for some reason, I was thinking of Monsters Inc., where you know how they scare people to get like the energy or whatever in the little canisters, but you're just basically trying to get you're a young Beetlejuice, and you're trying to move up in the netherworld for being top scarer or something, and you go into random people's homes and you have to sneak around and set scary traps or set yourself up to scare other people, and then you get graded on it by that lady that has smoke coming out of her throat. And you know, that would
the
be the game.
caseworker. The
The
caseworker.
caseworker.
Yeah.
That was one that I thought of that thought might be cool. But
You know what's funny about you saying that? Like that second one, not the first one, the second one. That really is like vintage, like old school, like tie-in where it has absolutely nothing to do with the actual material. It's just
Right.
like it's just like, hey, we're using the name here so that
Right.
so that we can
Right.
sell a couple extra copies.
Yeah, we want to sell this game, but let's put Beetlejuice on it and
Yeah.
people will buy it. I would buy it because Beetlejuice fan. And then we had looked into it like, oh yeah, there is a side scroller back in the NES days, and it came out I think in 1988 or something, and it was done by Rare of all people. So I thought that was cool. And there was actually a cartoon one that was on MS DOS or something like that on PC.
Yeah, well,
So
and that should tell you how old that is.
yeah, so apparently I copied some stuff. Where did Ellery says, where does the Deo scene come in? Yeah, it has to be the intro, right? And like while you're sitting at the title, it's just that song on repeat, which I would listen
I don't
to
remember.
forever.
Did they use that song for the opening credits for the show? I don't remember.
No, they used
No.
it at the dinner table when they're
No.
when they're
I'm talking about the cartoon. I'm saying, did they use that
Oh,
song for the cartoon? I know
don't
when they
think
use it in
do.
the
I
movie.
just remember the music. I don't think they used Deo for it though.
Yeah, I don't think they did either.
I don't think they probably couldn't. They probably didn't want to pay for the rights for it or whatever. But
Probably not.
but yeah, that's my Beetlejuice pitch. So it is a hard IP to do, but I would buy it because it said Beetlejuice on it. So
All right. Well, for mine, just as some clarification, somebody forgot to tell me that this was a topic. So,
well, and on my defense,
of what you
Ellery
have done,
did tag you in the Discord, but at the same time, when I saw it, I said, Butch probably isn't going to see this. Or,
Yeah, somehow
as
I
your
missed
name in
that.
there, I was like, Rick probably isn't going to see this. And I still didn't say anything. So it is kind of on me because I knew full well. I just didn't say anything anyways. Just because I wanted my ideas to sound good. That's all.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, we'll do it like this. But being as that I've had this episode while I've been trying to talk about whatever to think about it, I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to wing this. I was like, I'm not even going to think about this until the time comes. So we're basically going to go downhill with this as we go. All right.
This is going to be a control alt
Yeah.
taboo item.
No, I don't know about that. It's just going to be, what the hell is this? That's probably more
I like it.
about right.
I'm game.
All right, so let's see. Let's start with genre. We
All right.
will go with the old standby. Just a regular third person action adventure. Okay.
Okay.
He doesn't really do anything that would qualify as like a stand-in for shooting, so I can't really say it would work like it can't be
A Beetlejuice shooter.
a cover-based shooter where he's hiding behind gravestones and stuff like that. No. Okay. Go back. This is going to be a JRPG, okay? A Western.
I like
JRPG.
it already. Oh,
Right?
I'm liking
Oh,
it. Okay.
no. I actually bear with me. I got something here.
No, I can see
All
this
right.
working already.
Even though this is a game I will never play in my entire life, it's gonna have Pokemon-esque elements to it, right? Like you're gonna find other ghouls and all that stuff as you go through the Nether Realm. It is going to use the cartoon imagery style, right? So it's gonna look at that, and the party members will be Beetlejuice and Lydia, but Beetlejuice is the main party member, right? Because he can summon the whatever.
Right.
Let's say you can have two familiars. We'll just call them familiars, right? And you'll use various different Beetlejuice-esque bizarre, creatures like like bats that have no body, but there's an eyeball with wings, right? I think I've ever seen those in a cartoon at some point. And you'll definitely go to locations that were in the cartoon. Like I don't remember a whole lot about that cartoon because I was pretty young when it was on.
Yeah,
but I specifically remember an episode where he creates a shopping mall or something weird like that, and I specifically remember the jingle was "Shop till you drop at the Spooky Boutique."
Yep,
that will be where you buy your gear, where you buy your items, and all that stuff. Right. Your enemies will be the various enemies that they encountered across the show. You'll come across like ghost hunters.
Okay.
All right. You'll let's see. How can we put the real world into this? Because I don't actually remember how that worked in the show.
I think so long. She just said his name and he would come. And they were just friends, right?
Yeah. You're right. They were friends in the cartoon. Like,
yeah.
Obviously, it wouldn't work real well for them to have an adversarial thing, but I remember he had some very strange powers that usually involved like toned down grossness. I mean, nothing like Ren and Stimpy where it was disgusting at times, but I remember, like his. Like the gross shit behind his ear was something and stuff like that. Like that could be an attack, right? That could be an attack of his.
Yeah, like
he grabs it,
vile green boogers.
Yeah, and he flicks it. That'd be like his fire attack, right? And so there we go.
I like it.
There we go.
I honestly think that would work out pretty well, like a party base.
Not too bad for off the scene.
No, I think it's pretty, and I mean it's perfect. That's how this show is, unscripted. There it is. There it is, folks, right there. I think I like it.
And of course, we know what the limit break is, right?
It's got
Beetlejuice.
Okay,
and he'll just be, he'll turn into a complete monster.
He'll come up as that carnival thing and start bashing the enemies down.
And when it's her limit break, that's where Deo comes into play. He'll
and she starts dancing,
he'll snap his fingers or whatever, and she'll start doing the.
Oh my god!
Like she does at the end of the movie. And
I'm gonna have to watch it now.
The cartoon? I don't know where you can watch the cartoon now.
Oh no, the movie too though.
And
but
Ellery, I thought about that. That is the world map. I got
Rick is like on top of things.
I forgot to say it, but I thought about that already.
Yeah, Ellery in chat says, can one of the locations be the neighborhood model in the attic? And yeah, it would be an awesome map that zooms
when you
out.
Go between dungeons, that's right. You'll see that it's in the attic, and you'll be walking around the town. Like when you get near the edge, you'll notice it's the edge of the table. And as you go to your things, it'll zoom back in, right?
Girls.
Yeah.
That can be the DLC.
No. That'll be your home base on the map, right? Like like the top what you call it, like balcony that it sits on. That's your save point. That's your save point. Right? Yes, that's your save point. And like so you remember how South Park did the thing where when you save and quit the game, but then come back in, it goes the
Yeah.
thing like the show. That's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
it'll work. When it comes back in, it'll be him sitting on the chair smoking a cigarette, going, "I gotta get out of here," or whatever
Dude,
the hell he says.
that sounds good, actually. He's got like a one egg nut over here.
Yeah.
Oh man, that actually sounds solid. I like it. I like it.
I am accepting phone calls, just to be perfectly clear. I'm willing to sign a contract for this.
That's good. I like it. That could work.
So we can
Yes.
merge the movie and we can merge the animated show.
Yeah, be perfect. Be perfect.
Mhm.
I'm so excited for the second one.
Oh, and one of Lydia's powers, not a limit break, just an attack while she's there. I'm sorry, this won't be an attack. This can be a debuff, right?
Oh,
She broods at the enemy. She'll make like a scowl towards the enemy, and it'll like lower their morale or lower their
she'll like
their
have some
defense.
like fancy poem that she reads off or
She'll
something.
she'll be like, "Oh my god," like the over exaggerated like misery that she liked to portray.
Yes. God.
What do we think?
I think that's a good one. That's way better than mine. That's good. I like it. I like it, especially off the cuff. It's good. Especially the world map. Like I can visualize the world map.
Yes,
like I can see it.
That's like the magnum opus of my idea here. It's like that's the single best part of it because that actually would genuinely be very cool.
Oh my god! I'm gonna have to trade it.
And obviously, as you go, maybe what's the dude's name? The main dude from Beetlejuice. I don't remember his name. Not Beetlejuice, obviously. The guy. Oh, of course you're gonna be fighting. What are they called? Sandworms or whatever.
Yeah, and that was another thing I was gonna think of. I was like, can I make like a sandworm game and like make it like a sandworm Beetlejuice / Dune mix up somehow? but I couldn't think of anything. But yeah, you could have characters from the movies and the cartoon just like pop in and like help you or give quests or something.
And then how about this? When you progress through the story, right, and things are happening, whatever. Remember the part when when one of them, it was one of the people that was Lydia's parents' friends or whatever, they pushed the car and it wrecked into the lamp pole or whatever.
Yeah.
And just like, "You asshole!" or whatever he did. Like
nice like fucking model.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. like that kind of thing can be how like things off camera happen. Like it'll zoom out and like the world map will update. And you'll see like a car hit a pole or whatever, and something like, awesome. Fucking assholes, something like that, right?
Then like you said,
like the model world map will be what shows you like things happening across the world when you're not actually there.
Like you said, you could have like now the episode's running long, but I don't care now because it's good. The your like little save center, like you can customize it and you can buy custom made furniture and stuff from Lydia's mother there or the stepmom there. She makes the furniture and you buy them from her.
And they wander around freely.
Yeah. I think you're on to something actually. That's good. I think that's a good note to end on. So thank you very much, Ellery, for writing that in. That's awesome. Like I said, I love it when people write in for questions and stuff. It gives us something to talk about and branch out on things. Like I would have never thought about talking about a Beetlejuice game, and that just added 30 minutes to the show. So very well done, Ellery. If you ever have questions, anybody listening or in chat has questions, feel free to reach out and anything. We'll talk about anything.
Clearly.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, and we will run with it until we find a good way until it's good. So I think that's it. Do you have anything to say, sir, or anything else?
No, I do not.
All right. I think next week, probably Friday, Thursday.
Yeah, I believe I'm back to Friday next week. I think it's fun.
All right. Yeah, I think Friday. Look at my calendar. I think Friday is good for me.
It's the second, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so the second will be good. So next Friday will be good for me, and then we might miss 1 or 2 episodes, maybe 1 episode, because I'm going on vacation to Puerto Rico. So I do the Hawaiian dance. I don't know.
Ooh.
So I'm going to Puerto Rico for about a week. So, but I come back, I leave Sunday and I come back on like Friday. So we could do something Saturday. I might be tired, but Secret Friends Unite's in here. Awesome. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Hopefully you got to hear some of the Beetlejuice shenanigans that was going on. If not, you can just go back a few minutes and, and hear us go off on Beetlejuice. Todd, everybody's in here. Oh no, Todd was on under Secret Friends Unite, another
I think he just said
fantastic
he was under the wrong.
podcast.
I think he said he was on the wrong account.
Another great podcast for comic news and Star Wars, Star Trek, all that good stuff, video games, anything. Definitely go check out Secret Friends Unite. Great people over there. Todd's amazing. Their guests are amazing. Good people all around. So thank you all for joining us. And fireworks going off. Anyways, thanks again for joining us. And as always, may the RNG gods. Thank you. We almost forgot the best part.
That would have been a cardinal sin.
Yep. Oh, we also we also need to have something special for episode 10, everybody. We're making it into the big leagues. I think I went first last time, so I think it's you.
I think I did, but I don't care. I'll do it first.
Okay, it's everybody. It's your it's the time to find out your fortune.
All right, we gotta come up with a good name for this.
Oh, we should have some play on it.
Joy will come with the return of a good friend.
In bed.
We're back to spicy.
Didn't take long. Mondays are the building blocks that shape your destiny.
That is bullshit.
I do not like that one.
Mondays are quicksand.
I don't know. Building blocks that shape your.
This was a solid F on the
yeah.
Today.
Jesus. Oh well. Well, on that note, on crunching noises.
I was saying you wait till we were done to eat it.
Oh no, I'm not proud. Anyways, thank you very much, everybody, for listening, joining us in chat. Thank you, Ellery, for writing in the question. It was fantastic. And as always, as I have my mouth full here, may the RNG gods ever be in your favor. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Helps if I push end stream. No.